Hey everybody, what is going on? It is September the 20th. It is cool, it is sunny, it is absolutely beautiful out here. So I'm out here, got a couple things going on I'm going to show you today. I finally started doing some traps up. I'll show you that in a minute. But first I'm going to show you some of the baits that I'll be using this year. Now I was going to try to film actually making this bait, but one, it's really messy. And I don't know if people want to see me hacking off. Basically what you don't see is me hacking meat off and grinding it up. So I can do a better job really explaining how I did this without changing gloves. And I would have used about a box of gloves changing out to do the camera and stuff. So what I did was I ground up probably close to 2 gallons of a combination of beaver, bobcat, and muskrats. I just use an old hand crank grinder that I got from eBay for 10 bucks. If you look around enough, you can find one cheap. If you try to grind up stuff, especially like some of the muskrats through the front shoulders and stuff and the bones and all, use the bigger hole. I don't know what size that is, but do not try to use the small holes for grinding up like bones and fur and stuff. It's a disaster. Trust me, I've done it. But you search around on eBay, you can find one of these. So I ground up all my meat. I got all that for free. And I ended up with about 2 gallons of bait here for about $40 of products that I put into them. So I'm going to go over the products that I put into the 2 that I made and show you the one commercial bait that I got. The first bait that I made, this is probably the most mild. Not probably, it is the most mild. I got this tip from Judith Davis. She told me about making bait with liquid mouse oil, liquid mouse bait. And last year I made it with Clint Locklear, I think. And when I was ordering Night Owl Lures, I saw they had it. So I just ordered 16 ounces here. So I put a complete bottle of mouse oil into here. Into probably, I would say 2/3 to 3/4 of a gallon. I added that whole bottle into here. I also put at least 8 to 10 ounces of glycerin. I believe this adds some antifreeze properties. It sort of makes it sort of like more of a pasty bait, but I believe it has some antifreeze properties as well. And that stuff is pretty cheap. I put probably 3 or 4 ounces of sodium benzoate in there. I might go heavy on that, but I'd rather have extra than have the meat start to rot. All my meat is fresh meat too. It's not tainted. I've made it all fresh in the past, and it was effective for me. So that's what's in this bait. 3 different products. This was $10. This stuff is really cheap. It's like $5 for 16 ounces of sodium benzoate, and it's not that expensive. Like I might have $15 worth of product in here. This is the second one. This has more smell than this one. It has a completely different odor than most baits that I've ever smelled before. Dobbin Bait Solution. I wouldn't be afraid to buy this if I were you guys. It comes with its own sodium benzoate for 1 gallon of meat. So when I ground it up, I took a gallon. I mixed this with it, and then you take the sodium benzoate and stir it up in about a half a cup or a cup of water. Dissolve it, mix that in there. I kept stirring it around for a while. And then, because I'm neurotic, I even added a little extra sodium benzoate in here just because, I don't know, I guess I like to waste sodium benzoate. But I made this a couple years ago, and I ran out last year. I wish I wouldn't have, because I've had a lot of luck with this bait. Luck, success, whatever you want to call it. And in my 5 or 6 years of trapping, this is the one commercial bait that has stood out to me the most. Even compared to other Cavens baits, the Hiawatha Valley and stuff, I like this one the best. So this is the only predator bait that I bought that was a commercial bought. Like I said, I got 2 gallons of bait for about 40 bucks. Also, I drop stuff. I got these little containers that I will use, that I'll refill once this runs out. And I use these for my homemade lure bucket. And if you want to see a video of my homemade lure bucket, I'll put a link right up here for you to check that out. It's basically a bucket, but these fit. I can stack like 3 or 4 of these in here really easily, and I keep my sheep's wool and urine and stuff down below, and then this tray goes on top with all my lures and stuff in it. Like I said, once this runs out, I'll just refill it. I've used these in the past, but they're like one of these. I mean, compared to weight, trying to carry that around, it's like more than double the weight. That's what I got going on there with all my baits. What else I got going on? I watched Jakey Crack this morning. I don't know when he did his stuff, but I watched it this morning and it got me urged to, or motivated to do my traps. They've been actually just started boiling a couple minutes ago, so I'll give them about 30 minutes boiling up here. I got, I think, about 30 traps in here total. That's all I'm doing, because the rest of my traps, they either didn't see any action or they didn't catch anything, and they're not in bad shape. They're just still, they don't need wax and dyed. I'm not wasting my time doing that. I'm also going to try, just as an experiment, to dye some cable restraint wire. I mean, I already got this clean. I degreased it in my dishwasher. That's how you know when you got a good wife, if she doesn't care if you bring home some trapping supplies and throw them in a dishwasher. It does a great job of degreasing traps and stuff. I'll throw this in there and try to dye this number 9 wire up. I use this for cable restraint supports. Here's a comparison. This stuff has been out in the weather for a year, so it's a really dull gray. This blends in really well with weeds and stuff. You put it in there and you have a hard time seeing it even when you know it's there, but this stuff will stand out, so I'm going to try to dull that up a little bit. Once my traps are done, once they're boiled, I'll bring them over here, throw them on my rickety sawhorses. Just got some old strips of wood with nails. Just hang one. A little tip, I mean, you can fasten this down if you wanted to, put a screw or something in there, but if you just take and hang one trap one way and one the other way, it'll sort of balance itself out and it won't roll over. Either way is effective. And then I will come over here, get my wax going here, and I will be waxing traps. Once the traps are waxed, then my last thing I got to do is make wax dirt, and that'll be pretty easy. All my dirt is dried, and I got my cement mixer ready to go, and that'll be it. There comes my crazy dog and my crazy wife. I've just given you some props, woman. Yes, I told him, you know, you got a good wife if you can bring home trapping supplies and throw them in the dishwasher. And she doesn't say anything. I run things in my house, buddy, that's for sure. I run the vacuum cleaner, I run the dishwasher and the clothes dryer and the washing machine. That's what I run. Right? There's the real boss. All right. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to finish this up. Hope everyone has a blessed day and a great end of September.